Hello and welcome to our first match of the day with Men's Super League. We have one of the biggest games of the season of Lutterworth Meteors versus Leamington Spartans, a top of the table clash. They are even on points. I am one of your commentators today, Jonathan Wilkie, and alongside me is Greg Whitehouse.
Well, thank you very much. Look forward to an exciting game. Obviously the first game in the season actually went Leamington Spartans' way.
15-7 or 16-8 was the score.
Meteors actually without Dan Evans today, away on holiday. Koenig obviously looked like he wasn't going to be playing. You'll see on his ankle he's actually got it strapped up. Was told he would be playing middle. Straight away he's on the wing. It's that spot that everyone fears him in.
It wouldn't be a Meteors Spartans game without talking about some kind of injury to Brett. But the set has gone the way of Meteors so far. It's 5-4 in players. Mark Allen hit out early on by a 2-ball attack. A great standing counter there from Reese Woodgate to take out Simon Jones. And I'm not sure how Finley Britnell Craven was hit out. The block there by Neil. And a 1-for-1 against Koenig.
Probably you'd like to say a good trade from both because they're probably their strongest side.
And the catch from Woodgate. Catching out Christopherson, who blocks the ball up. Woodgate taking himself out to bring back Allen. Oh, almost an exceptional play by Mester there to stop the 2-ball attack.
Yeah, he looked like he was forcing that. It was that preemptive one step forward, looked like he was going to throw it, then track back. Unfortunately, a good 2-ball attack from Spartans does shut him down in the end.
Now the 3 Spartans against the 2 Meteors of David and Brown. See what they can do. Interesting, earlier on, Allen brought back in from the catch, a 2-ball attack straight away on him. So Meteors have identified a danger man in this Spartans team that they're looking to get rid of.
It's weird, maybe I'm just sort of overreading things, but Nathan David doesn't really look like he's putting full effort into that throw. He's looking more for the accurate throw on Mark Allen rather than the power over arm that he sets himself into.
Oh, David's just taken his eye off the ball, tried to pick up that ball behind him, and Allen's taken the opportunity there to take him out.
Yeah, he's read that perfectly.
Very well done. Brown left in on his own. Has been making some exceptional catches in these past games between the 2. Richards called out on the block. Yeah. Great timing there from Spartans. Harrison knowing not to take the throw.
Yeah, David Paul obviously in the box. He'll be constantly updating the team on how long is left. And Harrison, we know what he can deliver time and time again. We know he's been at the pinnacle of the sport for a long time now.
Bit of miscommunication there between the Spartans boys who's running for that middle ball. Meteors don't opt to take a quick start though.
Neil out again.
It being called.
Not quite what for, but centre ref has called it, so that decision is final.
The single was called to have grazed his elbow. Oh, not his elbow, sorry, his shoulder. The ref's decision is final in these games.
And I think the respect for the ref is so clinical, especially at the top, you know, these Super League games, you know. You have to respect the ref, otherwise you will just get punished for it.
These games have such fine margins that you want to be seen to be listening to the ref so that those 50-50 decisions that may either go against or for you go in your favour. And especially when the players on court all play at such high calibre. Mester hit out there on the post throw by Allen, but a delayed 2-ball attack there from Meteors at Woodgate.
Oh!
It's one of those unlucky.
That's horrible, because there's Nathan David there, you've done nothing wrong. So to be hit out in that play, it is hard. It's hard to take.
Koenig hitting out Allen, hitting through the block as the ball goes high. Nursing that ankle.
He jumps from the left and lands on the left. I think he knows that landing on that right is going to hurt him.
Woodgate taking the catch and being hit out. by the delay throw from Koenig.
The delay ball working some areas from Meteors, not always finding the target, but they're definitely putting Spartans to make that second dodge.
Just having some technical difficulties at the moment. Will be fixed in a second. We'll update you. Single thrown by Britton or Craven at Jones. Spartans coming forward with 3 balls, releasing a single, blocked there, and a post throw at Harrison in the middle. Meteors coming forward with 2. A hit there on Koenig by Richards. Koenig is really nursing that ball a bit. His ankle a bit, looking like he's in quite a bit of pain.
And even when he's coming...
Jones made... Oh, go ahead.
No, after you.
Jones made 2 exceptional hits, but was hit out by the last ball from Harrison.
Yeah, I think he might have even been dancing on the line on that anyway. I think even if he's not hit out, maybe I think his back foot, as he's sort of reversing that line, does hit. The thing, technical difficulties, I believe, are now still over. Back with the full image.
We are back. So Spartans take that set. The substitution, Christopherson taken off for Day. Sure why there, Christopherson just seemed to be a bit unlucky with a couple of the situations on his wing. Meteors coming forward with 3. Looking to get... Oh, an amazing shot there from Woodgate. Line ref Tamas Ward calling it a definite hit.
Yeah, I think Carl Lawrence down this side had also called a hit. I think it was just a slight debate from Scott Esnuff. Oh, and Mester on the centre line as well.
Mester, I remember, didn't really have the best game against Spartans last time around. Neely calling the hit there. Great cover there from Day.
Yeah. And David this left side as well.
Protect Koenig there. Mester didn't quite have the best game last time, looking to change that. 1 for 1. Line ref calling a 1 for 1, but Scott Esnuff, our middle ref, being adamant that it was a before Britton Craven was out before they had
Dan Richards there giving that 4th ball away, but
doing well to staying alive.
Yeah, Meteor's timing probably not the finest, maybe a slight bit of miscommunication on the, they had 4, they played up to 4. Day actually ends up throwing the single ball. So David and Brown do have to compensate in that sense.
Great single there for David to bring it back to 3 apiece. Another one. Well done to Brown in the middle to survive both shots. Richards with 2 balls. 3 balls from Meteors.
Yeah, about 30 seconds left on that clock now. It's a hard one to face, especially when you've been hit sort of by that first one, and the second 2 also hit your head.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're so used to it now that it becomes somewhat of your, you're used to it.
Yeah, you see that Richards had set himself to take the catch, and by dropping that kind of half a foot, puts his face right in the line of 2 centrally sent shots that sadly came quite towards him. And a double hit there from Harrison against Day and Mester.
Woo! Simon Jones, he's left standing, he looks the dodge off that 1 foot, but the accuracy from Woodgate is perfect.
And another 2-ball attack from Spartans there. The Meteors dropping like flies at the moment.
And it's so weird to see that Spartans, they aren't perfect in every play, but they do the basic things right every time.
Yeah, both teams here have exceptional core skills. And that's why they've been at the top of the game for as long as they both have been. And just seeing the ability for all 12 players to be able to show that is always a pleasure to watch and a pleasure to commentate. 4 balls now for Spartans. A 3-ball attack, not quite making its target.
And they're forcing them into those areas that, you know, Koenig has to jump off of that ankle that isn't 100% fit.
You could see that as he came up to hit the running or to hit the counter, it was a bit wrong-footed, cross-footed, I guess,
yeah.
Because he didn't want to be putting. Great single there from Sam Richards. Puts his hand up in apology just because it's almost catchable by Joe Brown there. That's kind of the level that they're playing at now, especially when you're 6-on-2. They don't want to be giving away those easier catches. Not saying any of these are easy. Ryan Neal calling it a catch, and it being called a catch for that looping ball.
I think from this angle, obviously he's behind Mark Allen, so it's hard to sort of see anyway. And I think some of the Meteors boys are a little confused that it might have bounced first, but hands are under it, and the line refs have called that. So
great step. Not allow the Meteors not wanting that second ball to go anywhere near that ricochet. Sorry, to go anywhere near them.
They've fallen victim to it twice already in this game, so a third time and only really into the 5th set could be devastating.
Great block there. 2 amazing blocks, 3 amazing blocks, and a catch from Finley Britnell Craven to take out Joe Brown.
And that is a great read from him.
Oh no! Nathan Christopherson looked like he made the catch. So we're unsure whether or not he had that ball secured. He was definitely in play when he first made contact with the ball. It's whether or not he had the ball as he hit the ground, because it looked like it was dropped when he was hitting, when he'd landed on the ground, and it has been called a catch.
And this game is nothing short of a blockbuster film, you know. 6-2 up to Spartans, but this set itself has been so dramatic and intense.
How many times have we seen players from both sides launching themselves off court to make the hits, or to make the catches, sorry. It just shows the trust that all 12 players have in the rest of their team to be able to sacrifice themselves to make that catch. Very methodical play there from Spartans with the 4 balls.
And a block from Koenig.
It looked like a hit here on Nathan David, but it's been called a bounce from the refs. So we're not the best angle being directly behind him.
Oh, great time throw on Harrison there. It's that timing that Meteors have finally found.
And another 2-ball attack to hit out Mark Allen. Great switch in momentum there to make those 2 very quick hits. Get a lot of pace going into this next set. We're unsure of the time left in the half. We believe it's towards the lower end, just because of the amount of sets, 10 points between them. Standing counter there from Reese Woodgate to hit out Nathan David. Just some confusion there about which side the ball was on.
Nick Mester finds the single this time. Maybe not quite been in that game mindset just yet, but that hit there is ever so clinical. And now Meteors starting to find their rhythm. Is this what they were after from the get-go?
It's interesting because Meteors are... It's not quite making that. Out of the two teams, you wouldn't really expect Meteors to be the ones throwing the two balls and getting the solid hits and the solid attacks. But they are, and they're definitely capitalizing on Spartans giving away a bit of possession, giving away 4 balls again. I think they're rushing a bit towards the end of this set.
Yeah. Sam Richards has to panic there. He does put that little chest throw in. This season we had the new rule of starting on the back line instead of behind the back line. So you are on court at the time of the starting whistle. The slight aggressive start, that single ball coming in. Koenig obviously trying to get rid of that third ball. That's not something they want this time around.
Which is interesting because we were talking about their 2-ball attacks. A great catch there by Simon Jones. They were taking their 2-ball attacks, and interesting to see them want to play a kind of a single ball counter game. 2 quick hits there on Spartans with Mark Allen and Finley Britnell-Craven being taken out.
And Meteors are going to punish that when Spartans release that ball and they're high up into the neutral. When they're high up into that neutral zone, Meteors are punishing that. Simon Jones loves to dance around that neutral area. It's the aggressive play style that we see. Koenig takes the catch.
Yeah, the mutual respect between the players. Brett Koenig thinking that it may have been hit on Alex Harrison, trusting that Alex's judgment is correct there, and he called it is a block. A great catch there from the direct on hit from Brett Koenig. Alex Harrison making a hit on Tim Day. Ooh. So that sound was from Alex Harrison hitting the floor. Oh, and a great take. No catch called by the line refs. I think the ball wasn't secured by the time.
I think he somewhat knows himself. Yeah, he's called it straight away. He knows that the ball isn't secure in his hands, and if it's not made secure and you're hit, that ball does not count as a catch.
It's good. It's very good to see from the refs being so confident. Yes, we've had a couple of refs chats in this game, but they've all been exceptionally quick, just getting the communication across between the line refs and the middle refs, just to ascertain what really happened.
And the refs do have such a hard job, obviously. As much as you have those 6 refs in total, there's still 5 balls to play. Bounces here, there, everywhere. Balls are still live while mid-air.
So there you go, that's that wall we were talking about. The Meteors ball retriever just being caught on the wrong side of the court, so just couldn't get to it quick enough. Block there from Koenig on the 2-ball attack from Spartans.
I think when we looked back at the start of this game, Spartans really started taking the early lead, and it looked like Meteors were chasing so hard. Now, when you looked at the half and past the half, Meteors now up 8-6, and that last set, Meteors looked dominant throughout.
They did. Could be because a bit of the momentum in that first half was from Spartans getting a couple of double hits. When you have 3 players leaving the court at the same time, it's really tough to get your head in the game properly. They have given away 4 balls, I believe. No, they haven't. 3 balls on the side of Meteors. A very good take there from Finley Britnell-Craven.
And Tim Day, he almost preempts the dodge every time, and I think Spartans really are taking advantage of that, because every time they put that little fake in, Tim makes the movement, and by that point he's already in the air, and this time Woodgate obviously takes that single ball. And
Spartans throwing 3 balls at Brett Koenig, leaving Nick Messer and Joe Brown left in on their own for Meteors.
Good dodge from Britnell-Craven. Doesn't need to force anything. You're 6-2 up. Going for those catches sometimes can be a little silly, and that's a great dodge yet again. They're targeting him, the Meteors boys, but they can't seem to hit him.
Tough job there from Mester to be able to dodge a 4-ball. And a shot there. The game finished by Finley Britnell Craven, hitting Joe Brown low. Yeah, really tough job there from the two Meteors boys. They went for the high-risk play of sending the 2 standing counters towards Finley Britnell Craven, not making the hit. And play ball being called, meaning they have to dodge 4 balls. I think the sets that have gone the way that they've gone have been very indicative of the style of these teams. The sets that Spartans are winning, they're methodical, they're grinding out the wins. But the sets that Meteors are winning are quick, fast-paced, aggressive hits. And I think that's how we've come to learn that both teams play and the styles that they've played in for the years that they've been playing for. Oh, and a lovely curving shot from Ryan Neal to hit Brett Koenig out, sorry.
But they do take out nearly that single ball, so Meteors only back down to 1 player down now instead of the 2 they were at.
Ryan Neal being caught up court there. Just taking those 2 aggressive steps a bit too quickly.
I think if I was the side of Meteors now, although Tim has done a great job on court, I think he's maybe getting caught a little off guard too many times. Maybe putting Nathan David back on court might be a good substitution.
Be interesting to see why they've taken Nathan David off. He wasn't quite having the strongest game in the first half, being caught out a couple of silly times when he had his back to Mark Allen, and an unlucky couple of double hits as well. Maybe just to reset his mindset, just to make sure that he knows what he's doing and he's focused on the game. 4 apiece here. 3 balls from the Meteor side. Another 2-ball attack, and Finley Britnell Craven getting out of the way very well. Oh, that shot almost just sticking in Simon Jones's gut.
And a double block there from
Dan Richards.
Yeah.
One of those blocks where the balls were so well timed and so accurate that one movement seems to make it. Joe Brown dropping his ball to go for a catch, but being hit by a 2-ball attack.
Yeah, they give Nick Mester time to go back, but they do have 4 balls in their arsenals, and if they're going to be clinical here, which they are, because Nick Mester has not quite found his catching rhythm in this whole game. He's taken a couple, but never a couple in a row that's forced his momentum.
Yeah, Nathan Christopherson not quite having the time left to really turn around that set. After giving away 4 balls quite a few times in that set, we'll see if Meteors do slow it down a bit. You seem to be a prophet here, Greg. They have taken Tim Day off and they brought on Nathan David.
I think it was a substitution they had to make. Tim he has his own individual play style. He's very smart, but I don't think his play style is aggressive enough against Spartans.
Spartans making a very good hit off the quick start from Mark Allen.
Has that net really proved beneficial? Because now Meteors have had to change their play style up. They're not throwing 2 as many.
I think it has. Just the unreliability of trapping the balls against the wall. You can give away those, as mentioned earlier, you can throw those 2 balls and hope that at least one will come back. Here it seems that Spartans ball retrievers and Spartans men on court have been doing such a good job at trapping those 4 balls and slowing the game down so they get the opportunity to make the 4-ball attack.
This time, Britnell Craven cannot dodge out the way of 2, but he's done ever so well in this game so far of just dodging out the way and moving himself out the way of those 2. And
Brett not happy with himself, not making that catch. Very good accuracy there from Mark Allen to go in between Koenig's legs. Nathan David not quite getting low enough. early dodge there from Mark Allen. I think Messer not quite getting his ball to go low enough. Hit the parallel. Allen.
Halfway in the set, 2 players up for Spartans, and winning this set will really push them further into the lead. They'll go up in the game, 12-8.
Simon Jones being hit from the back of court snipe from Ryan Neal, hitting him as he was turning his back. Spartans really slowing this game down to make the Meteors boys, forcing them to do all the work in this set. Alex Harrison backing up there, but not quite making the catches. I think Reese Woodgate slightly blocked it out of its flight path.
Esther slightly annoyed that the ball probably wasn't in his 1 meter region, which we signed somewhat class as valid. But refs have all called it as fine, so you've not got much else to say after that.
It's such a tough rule to adjudicate because some of these players launch themselves across court, and if you're tracking a player that can jump 1.5 meters into the air, how do you know? And it's one of those questions. I think there's a timeout being called here by Meteors. 2 sets down, 12-8. We have about 4 minutes left on our clock. We're normally quite reliable. We don't have a direct feed to the referees, so it can be hit or miss depending on a few seconds here or there. Quite figure out what the ref said to Ryan there, or Ryan Neal, sorry, about how long is left. I'll do the age-old question, Greg. If you were Meteors right now, what would you say in your team talk?
I think you really have to be looking at the balls that you have thrown. Are those 2 balls clinical enough to be able to take out Spartans? So do you have to change up that plan? You've tried a bit of 1-ball work, but you have to play ride or die right now. You have to play high risk, high reward. Otherwise, this is really just going to be out of Meteor's hands, and they're not going to be able to claw it back. Spartans take this set, and it's game over, I believe.
Lovely job there from Alex Harrison as Reese Woodgate pulls up after full starting, managing to make all 3 balls. Nathan David accepting that was a very good catch from Ryan Neal.
Yeah, it's sort of stuck between his leg and his left hand. They're the hardest ones to take because, you know, you've thrown in all your might and it's sort of stuck in the wrong place.
Got there in such a good timing.
I think if I'm Meteors now, I try and play more aggressive throwing rather than taking the ankles every time. Trust that your power is doing the right thing and Spartans aren't going to be able to catch it.
I guess that first throw of the game from Nathan David may have been that, we don't know, but I'd agree. You just got to gun for it now and really try your hardest. Frustration there from Mester, maybe thinking one of them was catchable. Interesting in the mechanics of chatting about Brett's ankle, the mechanics of his throw, because that's his follow through.
Yeah.
Interesting to see if he's pulling out some of the power just so that he doesn't put as much pressure on it.
Surely you cannot put 100% power back your full throw if you're sort of where you're placing your ankle and where you're sort of, I don't know. For me, you know, if my ankle hurt, my left ankle is probably never going to recover from like an injury I've had time ago. And I always feel that. It's always something that plays on your mind.
Yeah. Just a bit. Always one of the worst things about injuries, that you may sometimes feel like you're back but can't quite 100% be in the situation you want to be in. Good 2-ball attack there on Mark Allen. 1-for-1 trade there.
And a 1-for-1 trade, but probably you'd say in the favour of Spartans. You know, when you're up and you're keeping that up, right?
Exactly. Nathan Christopherson and Drew Brown left in. Meteors. The retaliation throw, from Spartans have been excellent. Meteors are throwing the standings into the middle, and the wingers are making the hits with such accuracy. Brian Neal hitting out, Nathan Christopherson.
And a timeout call from Spartans. They are those 3 sets up. They are now 14-8 ahead. So the game is unreachable now because it's just over a minute. You've got that minute set plus a bit extra, you'd say.
Yeah,
so,
maybe.
You know, unless you end a set in 5 seconds, which is nigh on impossible.
I wouldn't put it past Meteors.
I think as much as you could say a team would put it past, you would trust Spartans that if you're at the top, you'd have to do every single thing wrong.
Yeah.
Are Spartans going to do that?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Been interesting to see if they'll make any changes. It's like Matt Mans is on for Spartans. Mark Allen being taken off. Matt Mans of Welsh fame. No changes there for Meteors.
And it's so hard, and I think when you look at substitutions, Matt Mans is by no means least an awful player, but when you have that 6 and you are winning sets, why would you change anything? You know?
It goes back to the conversation we had in, I believe it must have been, might have been either our first Meteor Spartans this season or another game, but we had a chat about teams trusting their 6 on court and playing them for the whole game, or substitution based on tiredness is a different story, but rotation is another way to kind of approach things. As we were chatting about that, quite a few of the Meteors boys being hit out from low shots. You can see that maybe they've not given up, but kind of figured out that the game's obviously away from them and looking towards the next set or the next game. I'm not sure who they have next.
I think a small discussion on if Britnell Craven was hit sort of as the other ball is live.
I also believe that there may be a punishment for... That's the discussion, and I don't know. Yes, a punishment for Nick Mester for his reaction to it as he reached the outbox, given a blue card. As this may be the last set of the game, that will continue over to Meteor's next game,
which they play Storm, which is a huge one in sort of Storm's campaign to be almost top 3 in the table.
Yeah, they're 4th at the moment, I believe.
David goes low, Sam Richards fires high. He knows what he's doing, it's within that valid region, but Nathan David, unless he somewhat has glue in the hands, is not catching it, and it is another game that heads into the favour of Spartans.